Welcome to the presentation on ankle taping. So this is basic ankle taping for inversion sprains, but I'll go over a couple modifications you can do for other sprains at the end of the presentation. So the basis of ankle sprains, inversion sprains are the most common. Okay, and the inversion sprain is when we have the foot go out to the outside. This injures the ligaments on the outside of our ankle. You can also have sprains on the inside of the ankle. It just tends to be less common because the ligaments on that side are stronger. So the position to tape the ankle is really important because if we don't have it in a functional position, no one's going to be able to use their foot while they have this tape job. You can see from this picture, dorsiflexion is when we move our toes up, plantar flexion is when we move them down. This position is actually the position of rest for our ankle, but it's not a functional position. So we would like the person we're taping to keep their ankle at 90 degrees. So this will mean they have to pull into a little bit of dorsiflexion in order to keep it at 90 degrees. We use this position because it's the position of most function. You'd be able to walk with your ankle like this, and if you can walk, you can therefore do other activities. Okay. So it's easiest to have the person sit on a table or a bed and then have from the middle of their lower leg down off the table or bed so that you have full access to the ankle. Now, it is optional, but oftentimes you'll see people who spray the ankle with a product like Tough Skin, and this is to actually make the skin more sticky, so it's easier for the tape to stick. Another piece which is optional, but you'll see a lot of people do it, is apply heel and lace pads. Okay? So they're called heel and lace because they go over the laces of the foot and over the Achilles tendon at the back. These are the places where you tend to have a lot of long tendons, and you tend to have a lot of bending of the foot that can create more aggravation here. So this simply creates more padding. It's not necessary to use them, but some people will. They're generally just little pieces of very thin foam, and they have a little bit of Vaseline on the inside of them so that they slide. The first piece we apply is Pro Wrap. Pro Wrap simply protects the skin, and it will also protect if they have any cuts or nicks on the skin so that that's not being covered by tape, and then when you pull the tape off, it creates a problem. It doesn't matter whether you start at the top or at the bottom, but all you're going to do is wrap around the leg and the ankle and the heel, okay, so that you cover the majority of the skin. So what we're going to start with is anchors. We are going to do one anchor on the foot and 3 anchors on the leg. Now, the anchor on the foot is very important in its placement. You don't want it to be too far into the arch of their foot, or you have a tendency to pull the tape too tight, which will create a cramp in the middle of the bottom of their foot. If you start at the pinky toe and work your way down, there will be a point right here where this dot is, where you can feel a bone. Sometimes in people you can actually see it project outwards a bit. This is the base of this bone, the metatarsal, the 5th. And it's the place at the end of the arch where you have more bones that go across the foot, so it's harder to squish them all together. This is where you want the tape to fall. So if you can put the tape on the bottom of the foot and then just wrap these 2 pieces over top, you'll have your bottom anchor. Now the top anchors are going to be up on the leg about 6 inches up from the ankle. They generally, it doesn't matter if they're in the middle of the calf, it's just about 6 inches up. You're going to start at the front, have them go down around the back and back up. You want one anchor, then you're going to move down by half the width of the tape and put the other anchor, and again move down by half the width of the tape and the other anchor. This makes sure that you're not missing in between and have skin poking through between the tape. When you tape up here on the leg, the tape generally does not go nice and smoothly around the leg. And that's because we have more muscle bulk in the back of the leg. You want to start higher at the front, moving down around, and back up, so that in the front you almost have a chevron. Okay? So the anchors, all they do is provide for us to have a place to stick all of the other tape. Okay? So we're going to get into the effective pieces of the tape job, and the first pieces are stirrups. Stirrups are going to try and lock our foot, pulling this outside edge up and to the outside. Okay? What you're going to do is start on the inside, right at your anchors. You're going to go around, behind the heel here, and back up. And this is the part where you're pulling, because you want to try and pull this heel up to the side. You're going to put 3 of these on, overlapping them so that they can be right on top of each other. These are the stirrups. The next part is the fill. And all the fill does is simply cover from the bottom of your anchors down to the ankle joint. All we want to do is make sure that we've covered as much of the skin as possible so that we're not leaving holes for the next part. You're going to do the same types of strips you did with your anchors. Start at the bottom of the anchor, overlap by half. You're simply going to go around, behind the Achilles, and back up. Rip the tape, start again. It's very important to rip the tape after each time you come around. If you wrap continuously around the leg, you'll get the tape too tight, and that will cause problems for their circulation. The next piece is the figure 8, and the figure 8 is one of the most important pieces of an ankle tape job. The figure 8 is going to keep their foot in this nice 90-degree position. So what you want to do is think of your figure 8 as the loops that are connected in the middle by an X. You're going to start right in the middle of their ankle joint here. You're going to go up and around behind the leg, back to the middle point. That's the top loop of your 8. And the tape continues on, not ripped, continues on and goes down around the bottom of the foot and back up. Then you rip the tape. So you start here, go up around behind the leg and back, down around the foot and back, and rip. This is one figure 8. From the side, it would look like this. You want to do 2 figure 8s, the exact same pattern, to lock the foot in this position. The second most important part of an ankle tape job are the heel locks. Heel locks prevent the heel from twisting in and out. And remember, this is the position that we sprain the ankle in. So we want to try and keep it in this neutral position. What you're going to do is start up by where your anchors are. You're going to go down, around, behind the heel, and back up the same side. It should look like a teardrop on one side of their ankle. And then you're going to do the exact same on the opposite side. So start at the anchor, go down around behind the heel, and back up. It doesn't matter if these 2 pieces of tape meet. It matters that you come right back up the same side that you went down. You generally want to do at least 1 heel lock on both sides, if not 2. The last thing you do is close the tape job. And what this means is you're going to reapply the anchor you did on the foot and reapply the 3 anchors you did on the leg. You do want to make sure that you haven't left any holes anywhere in the tape job. Any holes need to be covered by tape, but they can't be covered by just a little square piece of tape. You need to do a long strip that circles around so that it's secure. Now, there are modifications if someone has sprained the inside of their ankle instead of the outside of their ankle. The only change is when you do the stirrups. The stirrups were the pieces where we started on the inside, came down around the heel, and went back up the outside, pulling up on that outside. Normally we do 3, all in that same direction. What you're going to change for an eversion ankle sprain is you're going to do 2 from the inside to the outside and 2 from the outside to the inside. Okay? Everything else, including direction, is going to stay the same so that you make sure the rest of the ankle is still supported. So a quick review. We have the pro wrap. We have the anchors. We do 3 on the leg, 1 on the foot. We have the 3 stirrups that go from the inside, around the bottom, and up the outside of the leg. The fill, which simply makes sure we have tape between our anchors and the ankle. We did 1 or 2 figure 8s. We did our heel locks on each side, covered any holes, and then reapplied our anchors, which are called the close. If you want to watch the whole tape job live, it's at this YouTube link here. The next 2 videos will cover arch taping and Achilles tendon taping.